they need to do differently, but it's so hard to tell. I mean, does it come down to the early lead and maybe the comp was fine, but we never got a chance to get going? Mirage was a ghost, not a Mirage in that game. I mean, do we get something different for him?
That team composition from Vigilant was very late game oriented. It was very team fight oriented, and Cryptic just never gave them a chance to team fight ever, because by the time that a couple people had grouped up, at least one, if not two members of Vigilant had died because of a grouping. So Vigilant, they could go for the same sort of thing, and look, it can't go much worse for them than it did in game one.
It really can't. So there's no shame in trying to shake things up, do things a little bit differently. As you said, a little bit rougher, killed the Hun on the late game. Scylla never getting a chance to have an impact. That's one more area where they just might look to make things different. But Ganesh picked up first pick here for Vigilant. That's something that they really want for Pain.
And that's just his comfort god right now in Season 4, and I'm fine with that if I'm Vigilant. You do give up two very strong picks in return, though, Huyi and Erlong Shen. Whew. That's going to be fine ok's Erlong, almost certainly. He's so good on that god. And Huyi for Vedium, I mean, you saw what he did in Game 1. Now, Sol here in the mid lane for a kill of the Hun, great, love it. He looks way more comfortable on this god than he has on just about any other mage. You've already got two really good comfort picks between the Ganesh and the Sol, and now another one for Bellona for Mando Warrior.
And I like this. It feels like Vigilant are screaming out, we ain't losing the early game again. That's what it feels like here from him. Bellona, very impactful right away. Ganesh and Sol also have a real easy way to start impacting the game early on. Fafnir, though, is the pick for Cryptic. It's a lot of the same picks that they had that were going well from last game.
Why not? I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yep.
Robin Band from Vigilant is smart. You take that out of Sam for Soccer's hands. He looked really, really comfortable on it in the last game. Serket, a strong ban, excellent into Erlong Shen. And I love the Jingwei ban as well, just making sure the Data Remember can't play a god that he really started to make his name for on Jingwei, giving that solo potential to Vedium anyways.
I was just about to say, was Rat banned game 1? I don't remember if he was banned, but he's definitely being picked up here. They needed a jungler. They turned towards that Raven, and this is high pressure for Cryptic to go into.
So Kernanos and Thor, the two picks. Mirage going to a comfort pick of his own. Data Remember didn't do badly in that game. He, Vedium had a lead, didn't get soloed, just was pushed out a lot, but still comfortable in that pick. It's going to be Raijin in the mid lane for Cryptic. More pressure for Shadow Chair this time around. Cryptic might have more pressure this game than they did in the last one.
Which they've got Rat.
Which
so
is
I
scary
know
to think about. Yeah.
For sure. But, I mean, Thor, I want to ask you about this one. Is Thor going to be able to cancel out some of that semi-global presence you get from Rat?
Yes, and it's a pretty decent matchup because, yes, you can get stunned out of your Berserker's Barrage, but you've got long-range CC, whereas Ratatosker does not. You've got better poke than Ratatosker does.
Yeah.
And you have that Berserker's Barrage that can interrupt that
Five-man grouping right away, though. Pain Devion has to use the shell to get out of there. Now it's Final K and Sam for Soccer who are in trouble. Sprit comes out, though, to create space. Sorry to cut you out, Aggro, but they're fighting right from the beginning this time.
Multiple sprints used by Cryptic. That was crazy. Pain looked like he was going to be first blood. Then Mando Warrior got a big bludgeon off that almost one-shot Final K. Remember, bludgeon does more damage the more gods you hit with that initial wind-up, and Mando Warrior hit just about everybody.
And this is what I was saying with the way their draft looks so much different. They can fight early with this composition, and that's what they were willing to do. Looks like they're going to be fighting over this first spawn of the speed buff on the right-hand side, too. Final K zoning them out while Gino and Sanford Soccer try to finish cleaning it up. Rotation coming in from Data Remember and the kill of the Hun, though, as they cleared midway first. Now, 5 members of Vigilant are here for this speed buff.
5-man knockup by Final K. Big damage as well. Gino getting low. Speed buff does go the way of Vigilant. Svetium around this backside looking to pick off a low health member, but no one has any CC right now on either side. I mean, you're looking at Pain might have his dash, and that's the only real CC. Gino's got a stun, but Vedium's not going to be able to stun anyone out. He's only level 1.
At this point, everyone has to back off. Instead, going for the elementals are Cryptic. That's going to be Gino and Shadow Chair working for those. Fine, okay. Over here, duking it out with Mando Warrior. They're still level 1. Is Vigilant. We're the ones able to drop that speed buff. So bringing Fine, okay real low. He's going to have to be extra careful off the back of that one.
He's already used all the health potions out of his health chalice. He's already used all the health potions that he bought in addition to it. But between both of those running and the Erlong Shen quick sustain with the passive, using the double Death Tolls proc with the dog by his side, Final K is going to be able to sustain up fairly quickly.
And he does. Almost back to full health like it never happened. But Vigilant continuing to try and push a little bit of this early pressure here into the blue buff for the invade. Around the corner did come for Cryptic, but they weren't able to defend it. Mando were able to steal that one away.
So already a much better start for Vigilant. They didn't get first blooded right off the bat, though it was close, and they almost got a first blood of their own very close on the right-hand side, but getting that successful double invade, both buffs on the right-hand side, went blue for Vigilant.
And just being able to start off on even footing has looked better. Already, I like Mirage on this Thor way more than I liked on that Nemesis last game. He's having a big impact with those hammer tosses, chunking away at Final K and Sam for Soccer. Now coming back and securing their own buffs, the blue and these back Harpies, so they can try and get a little bit ahead of Cryptic.
Basically ahead in every single lane thus far, and Data Remember is going to be the first one to hit level 5 and get access to that ultimate. Vedium still sitting at level 4. He's going to back and start to work on some boots. He actually was able to out-clear Day in that lane, but Day might be able to stick around and just farm up those Devourer's gauntlets if he so chooses.
Kill and Pain have all the pressure here in mid lane. Look how far they're pushing up Shadow Chair and Gino, who are happy to back it up a little bit. But this is really just what we were talking about. If you have a rough game, Final K getting a knock up despite his low health, go ahead and draft some people that got some good lane clear and get some pressure.
Killa and Pain pushing Shadow Chair and Gino all the way underneath that tower.
Yeah.
This is a good time to do it because that speed buff going to respawn fairly soon, and as well as those fire elementals. So make sure that those two in the mid lane have no chance to try and get in and have any sort of contest on the right-hand side.
Mirage and Mando Warrior get those fire elementals. Only ones with members level 5, except for now Vedium just crossed over, are Vigilant. They have all their ultimates available for them, and as you said, with the speed buff popping up, this is the perfect time for them to go and try and start up a fight and get Cryptic to commit a little too hard.
Shadow Chair about half HP from the poke from Akilla the Hun, and still not level 5. Neither is Gino, so the speed buff invade should be Vigilance without much contest.
Sam for Soccer's here, though, gets the stun off, not able to stop them from actually getting in, and that's about what I expected, a loose contest. You know, if they're sloppy cleaning it up, maybe you can steal it, but nothing any harder than that. Cryptic back off as the speed now buff around Mirage.
And this is a much better start for Vigilant already, up 1,000 gold in the first 4 minutes. Didn't take long for them to get themselves a lead. Their mid-game team fighting composition, very strong as well with this composition. Plenty of AoE damage and area denial. I mean, it's CC and it's damage.
Pain Devion getting locked down. Shadow Chair goes up into the ultimate to pull him back towards the team. Dharmic Pillars are enough for Kill the Hun to clean up Shadow Chair. Vigilant gets first blood to go along with their early lead as they send Cryptic back.
Really nice ultimate there from Pain. Actually lays down the Dharmic Pillars right where Shadow Chair was playing the drums, so he was taking a bunch of damage. And where's Mirage? Already up in the sky, was right on time with that Thor dunk.
And that's what I'm talking about. Mirage already having a much bigger impact than he was able to have last game. I'm sure he's able to play the Nemesis just fine, but getting a comp that gives him a chance to shine is up into the air. Goes Sam for Soccer, looking to go and contest on the blue buff over here. He does catch Mando Warrior out. Final K is here with him to try and get the slow. They dash in, but the sprint's enough to keep him out. But the taunt from Final K is a little bit better, pulling him back in. Disarm, though, to slow down some of the damage. They have to go under the tower now to clean up the kill. Still don't quite have it, but they should be able to finish it off.
Oh, Sam just able to survive. Less than 20 HP on the Ratatosker. Good jukes and good attempt by Mando Warrior, but it was the fact that he just didn't have enough mana for that ultimate.
But this is what Mando Warrior did so perfectly. They had to commit so much to the kill that Final K had to pass through the T1 tower. That's why they get the return kill, because Mando Warrior clings to life instead of dying halfway through the solo lane. Nice
speed buff invade, though. Shadow Chair and Gino recognize that they're not going to be able to help Final K, so may as well strip away some farm and give away a speed buff to the Fafnir. And, you know, supports deserve a buff every once in a while. I guess this is fine.
I mean, he clearly wants to go fast. Already has those Traveler shoes, so he's going to be zipping around the map with the speed buff, helping out even more. Now up about 1,200 or so gold, even a little bit more than that, are Vigilant here 6 minutes in. They got the kill advantage after being able to return the kill onto Final K, who had to aggress too far, and they're going to be looking to push this control a little bit further.
A night and day already between Game 1 and Game 2 for Vigilant. Just the comfort picks, we talk about them all the time. They're so important for these players. Look at what a difference it's made for Vigilant already, and it's a lot of comfort picks across the board. Mirage on Thor, Kill the Hun on Soul, Pain to Beyond on Ganesh. These are the picks that they feel comfortable on.
Data Remember has to give up the beads as he gets locked down there by Vedium, who does commit the ultimate, but that's a long cooldown timer Data Remember is now going to have to sit on.
That's because Sam was up in the air looking to continue that gank on the left-hand side that Vedium decided to play so aggressive. So a smart beads by Data Remember. That would have certainly been a kill for Cryptic and their second one, which would have evened it up.
Speed buff is the call one more time. Mando Warrior does get taunted out by Gino, who goes up into the Dragon form, and he's going to be zipping around with that speed buff. Shadow Chair does lock down Mando Warrior, though, up into the air. I believe it was Mirage, actually, who's up there. I'm not sure where he's going to land back down, choosing just to back off and let them have their own speed buff this time.
Mando is a little bit too aggressive there, and that ends up really turning the whole engagement in Cryptic's favor. Cryptic just also has a lot of AoE zone control with their damage, and Pain never got a chance to get in there and drop the ultimate. Akilah the Hun never got a chance to get in there and drop the ultimate. And Cryptic, when you're the ones getting aggressed on, it's usually the enemy team putting themselves in position to get ulted a lot of the time. That's exactly what Mando did to himself there.
Cryptic getting a very important win on that right-hand side of the map now. They've got a chance to slow down the aggression. It kind of resets the jungle for them, so now Vigilant likely won't be able to be there right on cooldown every single time now, invading that buff. Now with things reset, at least the jungle's concerned, Cryptic has a chance to slow down some of this momentum and try and even the footing back out.
And Final K is the one to watch for me for Team Cryptic, because if he can catch up, which he already has in XP, if he can get even in gold, get a lead there in the solo side of the map, he has the potential to carry this game on the Erlong Shen, to set up and chase down low health enemy members. Can really do it all out of the solo lane. So look for him and look for Vedium, to the two side laners for Cryptic, to kind of be the highlights for them if they can make not a big comeback, but they still need to make a small one in this game.
And I'm thinking that, especially for the next big play, we might see that come down to either Sam for Soccer or Mirage. Mirage had to use his ult in that last engagement, but it'll be back up in just a moment. Those semi-global presences, those are going to be the ones that respond or that set up where the next engagement is going to be happening. Sam for Soccer already moving aggressively down on top of it. Looked like Data Remember on that left-hand side. Data Remember's under a lot of trouble. The Suns lock him in. Vedium ends up cleaning that up, but he was set up by Sam for Soccer.
But those Dharmic Pillars might have actually hurt Day more than they helped him. I think it might have body blocked him for an extra shot into those Suns. Not sure it would have mattered either way. He was so low without any purification beads. Good teamwork there between Cryptic and Sam for Soccer. The old bait and switch. Sam goes in, does a lot of damage, but gets low himself, and then allows the full health Vedium to come in and finish it off.
Vedium happy to clean that one up. He is now going to take this chance to get a little bit ahead of Data Remember, who they were virtually even. See him separated only by like 1 or 2 stacks over there in the build path. But it's Cryptic who come over, and they're able to get the fire elementals, which will likely be the last time those spawn.
And that's, again, Final K starting to get himself a lead in this solo lane, along for Sam, which means that Sam is going to get a little bit closer to where Mirage is as well in the jungle. And player damage is already starting to tilt more in Cryptic's favor. Top 3 members in the game, all wearing red jerseys. So Vigilant has done a better job of controlling the buffs and fighting these small and controlled engagements. But Cryptic already starting to come back. This gold lead basically gone now for Vigilant.
And now Sam for Soccer with 3 assists. He's been involved in all these, making sure he's the one that sets it all up. Now I'm going to be looking at Mirage. He still has his ult available to be the one that does the same thing for Vigilant to try and get this going. Mando Warrior getting pinned out, but he's a tanky balloon at this point, so he ain't too worried about it. Just going to clear out that wave and back off.
Sam not going for the tank rat build that's kind of been popularized by Captain Twig. We saw, I believe it was Skeleton play it earlier on today, and we also saw, or maybe it was Mask, I don't remember. Someone played Tank Rat.
I'm pretty sure it was Mask.
Usually going the Ankile into Mystical Mail. Not the case here for Sam for Soccer, going for the more traditional damage route.
Gino could be in trouble here. The Ohm locking him in place. Turns around, gets the hammer, and jumps on out of there. No real big deal for Gino as he's able to make it out. Fafnir not afraid to box it out a little bit.
Even not afraid to step up and try and force Vigilant off these mid-harpies, but Pain and Squad not deterred. They're going to push up. Gino's jump should be off cooldown very soon if it isn't already. It's a good decision from Vigilant to not try and force that in.
It looks like we might have a little bit more pressure going on as Final K and Mando Warrior are happy to slap around a little bit more. Sam for Soccer hanging out on that left-hand side with Vedium, but they're going to keep going. Final K uses the sprint up-down from Mando Warrior to lock him down underneath the tower. Mando Warrior going to be okay, though. He's going to take this chance to back as Mirage has hid beads forced out in middle.
Now Mirage is in a lot of trouble. Big damage from the Tycho drums. Sam's going to get credit for his first kill. Nice stun over the wall by Gino there as well as Data Remember makes the rotation, but Vedium going to jump into everybody here in the mid lane.
Dharmic Pillars drop down on him. That's a lot of damage, but Aegis immunes a lot of damage. Not Gino gets one more stun. He'll back off. Cryptic, despite the early strong start from Vigilant, are now back in a minor lead, but they're in the lead with the kills as well. Come on over to the Oracles and get that started too.
No chance for Gold Fury to be the call here for Cryptic. Already used so many ultimates. Sam, Shadow Chair, even Geno's are all on cooldown, so no chance even with getting the better end of that little skirmish in mid lane. They go for the Gold Fury instead. Just secure the Oracles, make sure that Vigilant don't have a chance to try and sneak one away from you.
And I think Sam might even have used his ult before the actual fight started out. I think he and Vedium were looking for something over on that dual lane side, but couldn't quite find it. Instead, they rotate in and help clean up the middle lane. Now, evening out that early lead Vigilant got, things are just like we were saying. They were able to sort of relieve the pressure because Sam for Soccer has been all over the map.
Fine, okay, has to deal with 2 for the moment, but he's not really worried about that. He almost got the solo kill onto Mando Warrior. I think Fine OK was under the impression that Mando didn't have enough mana to ult him underneath that tower, and even if he did, he was obviously going to be okay. His comfort level on Erlong Shen is really, really impressive. When I think of Final K and solo lane, I think of 2 gods. I think of Erlong Shen, and I think of Hercules, and he can really make a huge impact on either of those in particular.
Fine, okay, real close to getting this tower taken down as Mirage lands on top of Gino. The wall doesn't quite separate him away, but it does set up the stun. And Gino, after taking half his health, was still ready to walk back in and look for that hammer, so he didn't feel like he was under too much pressure.
Just Soul is safe in the early game, and her clear isn't bad, but it's really not that good, and her damage in the early game isn't that impactful either. She really is still more of a late game slanted god, and at 13 minutes, even with good setup from Mirage, you're going to need to find a low health target for a Kill of the Hun to really blow someone up.
Mirage once again under trouble. Sam for Soccer's here. Rally here creates the space, but Fine OK doesn't care if he has to tank a few tower shots. The wall creates a little moment of distance, and the speed buff does not get him away. The pin shuts it down. Now, though, there's a fight behind the tier 1 tower. Mando Warrior able to return onto Sam for Soccer, and Mando Warrior looks low too.
Shadow Chair looking for him up and over the wall. He finds it with the final shot. Nice accuracy, just blind up and over. Shadow Chair with the good prediction finds the 3rd kill on the Mando Warrior.
Gino comes in just to stomp on the grave of Mando Warrior, looking to help clean it up if necessary, and Cryptic have come back, now trying to put themselves into a position where it feels like they're the ones in control. Forget all about that early lead. Not comfortable starting up the Portal Demon, but that tier 1 tower did fall, as Vedium still has pressure on Day, forces out the Aegis and the bees.
Vedium not even worried about Aquila or Pain showing up here because this red buff invade is on the table with Mirage also in tow. Needs to be pretty careful, though. Big damage. Vedium does secure the red buff, but on the run. Has to jump up and over, but it's onto Mirage, and he's going to find it. 2nd kill for Vedium.
Now taunting back in 2 members is Fine OK. Shadow Chair is here, even though he doesn't have the ultimate, but he doesn't even need it. Pain to be on way too low. Pain to be on way too gone. Mando Warrior with the bludgeon, though, does at least get the return kill on the Gino. Sam for Soccer using it through the Cosmos to come in, but he has to turn tail right away.
Nice rotation from Mando Warrior. That's the big difference for Team Vigilant, that he's able to pick up at least 1, but it's only the support. And Vigilant, they lose 2, including Mirage yet again in the jungle. Now sitting with his 3rd death, another kill for Vedium as well. He's level 15, top level in the game. Look at the player damage charts, man. We talk about these 2 all the time when it comes to Cryptic, but who lead the way? It's Fine OK and it's Vedium.
And they've just been playing excellent this game. Vedium somehow always managing to seem to be in the picture when a team fight's happening, rotating in very well. So far, Data, remember, not having quite the same impact. But despite the strong start for Mirage, it feels like he's been getting out-rotated by Sam for Soccer this game.
And both of them have that global ultimate, or semi-global, I should say. But Ratatoskers can really cover a lot of ground, can go farther than that Thor ultimate, so that there is some credence to saying that Sam should have the advantage in that rotation, but even there, at his own red buff, Mirage coming back, just not able to make the impact that Sam was on the Ratatosker.
Now without that tier 1 tower, Fine OK freed up a little bit to rotate into these team fights a little bit more. Gino looking for a low round in, aggressive positioning, but Pain to be on the Kill of the Hun. They've got that ward on that right side, so they knew it was coming, able to back off. Next objective likely, though, to be Portal Demon or Gold Fury is I don't think either one's crashed down just yet this game. It's just been them fighting.
And a lot of it. I mean, 12 kills in 16 minutes isn't a crazy number, but there's been plenty of damage traded back and forth between these two teams. It's not just one side of the map either. Yeah, it's been Final K quite a bit of the time, but also Vedium has really been taking it to Data Remember so far.
Gino getting knocked up. Damage from Mirage, but
Nice.
three-man taunt forces out beads from everybody on Vigilant. Up in the air is Sanford Soccer landing down on top of Pain. Good return damage from a kill of the Hun, but still just not quite enough. Mirage looking to go show, hey, I'm not getting outclassed by you, jungler. Good wall to separate him, but not quite perfect enough. Sam could still run. Speed buff is
Nice
here.
stun.
Good stun. Dash is available. He's going to run, but the hammer is available from Mirage, and that cleans it up.
Nice play there from Mirage, really on both sides for the junglers. Just a little bit of an overcommit on a Pain, to be honest. Now Gino's de-transforming the spot he doesn't really want to. Good stuns over the wall from Vedium. Just kind of deter any further aggression from Vigilant.
That's exactly what it did, but now a lot of ultimates they won't have available. Day and Mando still have theirs as they start up this Gold Fury. Shadow Cheer actually goes in aggressive to try and stop them from taking the Gold Fury, but not enough. Data Remember secures it. Gino low, but Vedium's here, cleans up Mirage, and Gino's trying to run from Mando Warrior, but with that speed buff, Data Remember also falling to Vedium. Vedium's having a huge impact, and making it out is Gino as Vedium is here.
Wow, Vedium really carrying this one for Team Cryptic. 5-0-1.
Yes.
Huge. Level 18 already. The cleanup kill on a Mirage expected. Whatever he did to Data Remember, that caught me off guard, and now he's looking for more onto a kill of the Hun.
A kill of the Hun taking lots of damage, but looking to go in as Mando Warrior is still full health. No one can fight into Vedium right now, though. He's standing tall, jumping forward aggressive as Gino, forcing Mando Warrior to kill of the Hun back for the moment. The double bounce almost cleans up Aquila. He's so low, he's going to have to leave. He's playing this Hu Yi lights out.
Vedium has always been that quiet, insanely good hunter. He's not the loud, boisterous sort of hunter that you kind of expect. The normal hunters, they like to talk about how they can carry the late game and all that kind of stuff. But Vedium's just kind of there doing his job at a really, really high level. And that's how his career has really always been. Even on Space Station, he was really, really consistent for them. He's always been a really good land performer as well and doesn't really get the credit there that I think he deserves.
Now Cryptic up about 1,000 gold, 11-6 are the kills. Sanford Soccer takes half his health bar. He's got to take the exit door. Final K now, the one that's under pressure from Mando Warrior. Shadow Cheer just going to make sure no one lands on his jungler. Mando Warrior takes way more than he wanted to, has to back off.
Yeah, Mando Warrior cannot 1v1 Final K at this stage. Even with the disarm, that's kind of the reasoning behind this matchup, at least in my mind, is to pick the Bellona and the Erlong Shen for the disarm that shuts down Erlong Shen's one entirely. But with Mystical Mail now done for Final K and with the small lead that he has, Erlong Shen just outtrades other warriors when it comes to auto attacks. Doesn't matter who it is, he's going to outtrade you.
He's kind of smacking you twice, so I mean, it's not too hard to see why it might be going in his favor. Yet again, the solo lane and the two side lanes in particular really feel like they've been the driving force. Not to discount anything Sanford Soccer's been doing for him on this Router Tosker pick, but Final K and Vedium are also having such a strong impact. It's really hard for Vigilant to have a way back in through Pain or through Data Remember or through Mando Warrior.
Pain gets knocked up. A little bit of damage onto him, but not much. Shadow Chair has done decent damage so far this game, but not that much more than Gino even. And until he gets, he's really going for a more utility style of build. He went for the Spear of the Magus right away. Next is going to be a Gem of Isolation, most likely. He's really there to set up for Vedium, in my mind. He's not going to be that big burst of damage like the Scylla. He's there to control the team fights and allow Vedium to continue just going off like he has been thus far.
Cryptic deciding not to bother going for that Portal Demon at the moment. They recognize they got a chance to go 2-0 here, get themselves not just in a good position, but up out of relegations. That's where they're at right now, Aggro. If they don't clean up this set, they could be out of the Pro League. So getting these 3 points could put them in a spot where maybe they're not.
This seeding for the Gauntlet is also so important. Even removing yourself from having to play one extra best-of-3 set can be so beneficial. And just kind of the lower-end Gauntlet teams, their challenge is so tough because not only do you expect them to not do as well because they're at the bottom end of the Gauntlet and they earn their way there, but because they have so many games to play and it's very difficult to stay consistent and stay focused at such a high level for a long period of time.
Mando Warrior's ultimate forced out. All 5 still available for Team Cryptic. Sam for Soccer, in fact, going up into his landing down on top of Mando. Good ult from Akilla the Hun forces back Sam for Soccer. Mirage crashes down as well, but has to back off because Final K is just way too big right now. Shadow Chair is here as well. Final K cleans up Akilla the Hun. Now it's Pain who's low. Jumping in aggressively is Vedia. Mirage separates 3 with the wall and cleans up Shadow Chair, and now Gino is looking to help clean it up.
Really nice play from Mirage. Has to use both relics to escape, but he will do so. Meanwhile, Vedium is just going in onto Mando Warrior. The Odysseus bow proc just not enough to find the kill onto the low-hit Warrior.
And this is why I like Mirage so much more on this Thor than the Nemesis. I feel like he's been having a tough time this game so far. He's still even with Sam for Soccer, but even falling a little bit behind, he can still have a big-time impact in this game. Cryptic, though, take that Portal Demon.
Oh, Cryptic, this is one of those chances where a team doesn't know that they could have pulled fire, but this was an opportunity for them for sure. Vigilant didn't respect that option from Cryptic to go for Fire Giant afterwards. The biggest difference in these team fights, I mean, Final K has been doing a little bit more than Mando Warrior, but for me, it's been Vedium has been all over the place, and Data Remember has been completely marginalized. He has not been able to make any sort of impact in this game. I mean, look at where he is in the player damage charts. He's got an extra 300 damage over the bottom end support. Just has not been able to make the impact that Vedium has. That's really the whole crux of why Cryptic has looked so good in these team fights. Vedium's just doing more.
Gold Fury already very low. Shadow Chair's here, but he's going to have to worry about Pain to Beyond, who's harassing him. Akilla the Hun credited, but Vedium cleans up Mirage, no problem. Gino now trying to force away Akilla the Hun, who doesn't want anything more with this. Sam for Soccer going aggressive
nice
on Data. Remember, Ricochet comes in to help clean it up. Vedium playing lights out. Pain to Beyond got to run as well.
2 kills in exchange for losing a Gold Fury. Cryptic probably not too upset with that because look at where they're going, straight into the mid lane. This tier 1 tower is already gone. No chance for Vigilant to defend this one. And that's without Vedium showing up. They might even be able to transition this over and go for the tier 2 on right. There's already a minion wave there, and Vedium is so far ahead that, I mean, he's level 20. Try and push this down.
And that looks to be the call. Vigilant trying to show up and mount a defense. Getting away from the bludgeon is Cryptic, or rather Sam for Soccer. Locking Final K down under the tower for the moment, but he's tanky. He was walking back in to take another shot. Final K is not worried. At this point, though, Mirage has respawned. He's walking back in. Day's only a few seconds away from respawning as well, and Cryptic just looking to back.
It needed to be instant if Cryptic wanted to get that tier 2 on right. That was just a little bit too slow from the entirety of the team. Only Gino and Sam for Soccer made the full rotation over, and yes, Mirage had about 14 seconds on the respawn, and then you think, okay, it'll take him about 7 to 8 to get to the tier 2, but it's Thor, and he had his ultimate up still. That would have been a bad engagement if they had stayed any longer. Still think they could have gotten it, but a good choice to back up.
Ultimate comes out from Vedium and Gino in response to Mirage's wall and the pressure they got, but nothing more going to come from it. Vedium's 6-0-3 right now. Sometimes those stats kind of lie because, yes, your carries do the damage, so the other ones with the kills. But I feel like Vedium's been playing exceptionally well, doing a lot of this stuff himself.
No doubt about it. He's top of the player damage charts by quite a bit. Is on the right-hand side. Data Remember, no relics for him. Sam trying to cut off his escape, predict the dash, but Day's still alive for the moment. Big Show comes out from Pain to Beyond as well, and now Final K still looking for him.
Sam for Soccer somehow is also still alive on the back. Can't say the same for Final K or the tier 2 tower, which both have fallen. Ricochet just barely off the mark. That would have been nice to hit Mando Warrior. Gino in a lot of trouble. Pain to Beyond and Akilla the Hun hunting him down. And Vedium also low. He's got to run away too. This could be the fight Vigilant are looking for. Good stun from Gino to keep him alive. And Shadow Chair is only one around to support.
Really nice stun from Gino. Akilla the Hun is not going to be able to close this gap, but this is a Pain to Beyond team. Don't be surprised if they immediately start to pull this Fire Giant with this slight advantage. Shadow Chair full HP, but no ultimate available for him.
Gino takes a lot of good poke from that hammer, has to back off. Shadow Chair is here. Fire Giant is half health. So is Sam for Soccer. He's looking to go in. That was all it took to force Vigilant back, was just the little bit of presence from Shadow Chair and Sam for Soccer.
Sam, I understand where his thought process was there. Day's got to dash away, right? I mean, he's under pressure. He's got no relics. I'll just cut off the dash on the other side, but that ultimate is so quick and it provides a knock-up. Just that knock-up alone would have killed a Data Remember because of how long he would have been stuck in the damage from Team Cryptic. And because Sam goes for the outplay route instead of the simple route, it forces FineOK deep into the back line. It was a great shell from Pain. It was a great ohm from him as well to give extra physical protection in that area. That's kind of one of the underlooked parts of ohm, is that not only are you silencing in that cone, but everyone around you and that circle around you is getting a lot of physical protection. I believe it's 50 at max rank. All of that, great peel, and it keeps Data Remember alive and really keeps Vigilant in that team fight.
And Cryptic have been playing so well that it feels like a lot more, but they're really only up like 3,000 gold. It's not as if Vigilant can't fight back into it, especially underneath the tier 2 tower, where it's almost like having a sixth man in the fight. We can see the experience difference is the one that's the real trouble. Mando Warrior's ultimate was forced out. That's enough for Vedium to go in aggressive. Doesn't quite get the stun, and the hammer or the wall was enough to keep him away. Sanford Soccer uses his ult, but doesn't land on anyone, as do the Suns from Vedium. Team Cryptic commit a lot, but have to back off.
Mando Warrior's done such a good job of baiting out engagements for Vigilant. He's had to Eagles rally defensively just about every time, but it's ended up working out as Vedium going to take good poke between Mirage and Akilla the Hun. That's what this composition really excels at. You can poke, and then just all in with that Soul ultimate or with the Thor ult.
Team Cryptic taking a quick look here at the Portal Demon. Gino real far forward, surrounded by 5 members. Tanky enough to survive it for the moment. Has to go up into his ultimate for the immunity, but they immediately delete him when he lands back down. Data Remember now sitting with 2 kills. Mirage crashes in 2, but the fight didn't keep going as much as he expected. Not much coming from that wall either.
Mirage completely out of mana here, and that's a big deterrent for Vigilance, that their jungler just isn't going to be able to be impactful in this fight. Mirage has to back quickly because Cryptic realized that even down a member, they've still got this even because Mirage can't do anything.
Using the bludgeon from Mando Warrior, not enough to take it. Actually, it is taken. Vigilant steal the Portal Demon away. Shadow Tier goes up into his ultimate to try and get some damage out. FineOK is low. FineOK is gone. Vigilant now up 5-3. Shadow Tier low in the back. Has to use Aegis to stay alive, but only for the moment. Now we can see that Sanford Soccer's trying to get out of there, and he does.
That is huge for Vigilant to steal away that Portal Demon because it put Mirage right into the fight immediately. Remember, he had to back with low mana. He can't walk there that fast. His ultimate's down. That would have been a 4v4 for Cryptic if they secure the Portal Demon instead. It's a 5v4 in Vigilant's favor, and they take it without much issue.
And what did Shadow Tier do with his ultimate in that fight? He's up there in those Tycho drums, but it still wasn't able enough to help them secure the Portal Demon. It might have come on just a little bit too late when he finally goes into it. Data Remember had the Fire Giant down to half health. Vedium, Shadow Tier, Gino, and Sam all here to try and help. Vedium drops the Sun a little bit too soon under the pressure from Mirage, and he ends up falling.
Shadow Chair is well going to fall to Mirage. Another kill for the jungler for Vigilant. Now 6 of 12, half of Vigilance kills on Mirage. It's going to be a Fire Giant for Pain Deviant squad. A really good continuation of what they started in the earlier stages.
And it feels like, to me, this all comes down to the defense under that tier 2 tower that we saw from Vigilant. They defended that. That was when all the momentum was in Cryptic's favor, when it felt like they were way far out in front. Now, though, Vigilant are the ones pushing down the tier 2 and right with Fire Giant on 5 members and 2 dead for Cryptic.
And the reason that Cryptic has seen so much success is because having a really good hunter and a really good solo laner is really difficult to deal with, because you've got one guy on one end of the team fight who's just pumping out damage, staying safe, doing a great job. And then you've got the other guy who's on your back line who's making life very difficult. He's putting out damage. He's absorbing cooldowns. These last 2 team fights, FineOK has been killed first and has done very little in these engagements. And that has been the real turning point for Vigilant, is being able to kill FineOK very quickly at the beginning of these engagements. Look, Mando Warrior, who has felt like he's on the defensive all game long, he's got 7 Hide of the Urchin stacks. How many does FineOK have? 0. That's a huge difference in tankiness.
At this point in now, Vigilant have swung back the gold in their favor, up about 4,000 gold, thanks in large part to those tier 2 towers they're able to claim, as well as the Gold Fury experience now back in their favor. And Cryptic feels like for the first time this set got to play on the back foot. They were behind a little bit at the beginning, but now finally a bit of a lead in Vigilant's favor.
And Vedium fell at the very end of that last engagement, which is really what opened up that Fire Giant pull from Vigilant. If FineOK is not going to be able to dive that backline quite as well in the future fights, maybe he should just be next to Vedium. Protect him, because Gino has done a good job of it thus far. He was the first to fall in that fight, and that was the silence from Pain really messing up what that Fafnir wants to do, which is throw out a hammer, mess around a little bit, and then just hop away with that quick leap. Ganesh just doesn't let you do that.
And Cryptic are still real close to Vigilant. It's not like Vigilant have run away with this. The most important thing for them is to not give up too much more off this Fire Giant. That way they can still take a fight at the Fire Giant dance or defend on any of these structures if they choose to. Gino lurking around, gets the hammer onto Pain, but no one's looking to follow up off that, just trying to get a little bit of poke.
Cryptic have the option to defend this, and Sam is lurking, deciding if he wants to go up into the ultimate, but good poke on a Final K brings him down to about 2/3 HP, and same can be said for Shadow Chair, just grouping up a little bit too much, getting hit by the same abilities.
They do drop that tier 2 tower. Vigilant claim that objective as their own. Now looking to make the call to counter ward and go ahead and back off as 5. This is the right call. They got to make sure they take down all these tier 2 structures. Looks like they want this one in mid now before they start to go ahead and push on these Phoenixes.
Got over a minute left on this Fire Giant, about 70 seconds, so plenty of time to use this. Even if this initial siege doesn't go well, might be able to back and get back in time for a second try.
They're going in for the tier 2 tower. That's going to be the call from Final K, who goes in, gets the 3-man taunt. Vedium already real low in the back, but Sam for Soccer comes crashing down on the Mando Warrior and forces out the beads from Day to Remember. Mirage, though, with the counter ult, goes up and lands down. Doesn't hit anyone right away, but separates Final K with a good wall. He's already down to half health. Using the ult, though, is Gino.
Still very low. Final K just able to escape that supernova, but meanwhile, Day to Remember, he took care of that mid T2. Vigilant now looking for the Phoenix. Both Final K and Sam have to go back to base and heal.
Now going in is Gino trying to push back. Mando Warrior's real low. Mando Warrior is gone, or rather Pain Devion is the one who's gone. To kill the Hun, getting pressured out by Vedium, but Sam for Soccer happy to clean it up. This is the defense Cryptic needed to make as their Phoenix still stands. Gino is alive in the back as Day to Remember falls, and this could be a full wipe. Nope, Mirage gonna make it on out.
Just barely. Vigilance just a little bit too aggressive there to go for that mid Phoenix. They got the tier 2, but look at all the ultimates they had used. Every single one was used to try and defend that, or to push forward into that mid Phoenix. And even with Day to Remember and Mando Warrior having theirs a little bit later on in that engagement,
could they get a Phoenix?
A little bit too greedy. 15 seconds still on Pain Devion. Yeah, this should be a pretty easy Phoenix for Team Cryptic.
They're going to go in and make the push. Mirage doesn't really have a way to fight into this one. Still about 5 seconds left at best on Pain Devion. That's not going to be enough. Now it's Vigilant who end up losing a Phoenix in its weakened state, and Fire Giant going to be back up in 25 seconds. I don't know if Vigilant will be in position for it.
I think they will, because Gino is going to have to back. He's very low. Shadow Chair is going to have to back, but with Portal Demon being up, that means that they won't waste as much time. Now, it does take time to bring this down, so as soon as this goes down, all of Cryptic is going to back and come through that portal as soon as possible to try and burn down this Fire Giant before guys like Mando Warrior, who come back from base, can get there. But with a kill of the Hun going left side to pick up that red buff, that might be an opening that Cryptic can take advantage of.
And choosing not to come right through the portal is most of Team Cryptic. We do see here Vedium's here, Shadow Chair, Gino come through, but they don't want to come through and immediately start trying to burn it and give Vigilant a chance to get control of the game wrestled back from them. They're the ones with the pressure now that the mid Phoenix has fallen. They'll be the ones spawning those fire minions. That's an important lane since their mid Phoenix is already kind of weaker.
And that's the idea, is to keep those fire minions pushed in mid to make Vigilance make a choice.
Now here the Fire Giant fire starting. Gino is already taking a good bit of poke, which could deter him a little bit. They do choose to fall back. Sam for Soccer happy on that solo side just to push up the wave a little bit, so likely not going in too much. Already got him knocked up though. Wall is good to separate him. That's forcing out his ultimate. That's a big team fight ultimate Sam for Soccer won't have. Choosing to use it though as a chance to go in on Pain Devion. Up into the ultimate is Shadow Chair, and they're putting a lot of damage onto him real quick. Mirage blinking in, not able to find any kills. Sun's raining down from Vedium, and that's not to push everybody back.
That's 3 ultimates, 4 ultimates if you count the Fafnir ult as well used, and there's the blink forward. Nice double pin, a kill of the Hun, gonna get brought down by Vedium's Ricochet. Mando Warrior trying to escape as well. Final K doing his best, but just can't close that gap. I don't know who took care of Aquila and brought him that low to start it off, because it looks like everyone is using every cooldown on a Pain Devion, and I really thought that was going to be Vigilant's team fight, but someone had done a great job to bring down that mid lane soul. Never even got a chance to use the Aegis.
So important was Final K getting that blink off, pulling Aquila the Hun back into it. Now they take the Fire Giant, no way for Vigilant to defend it. Now they can group up and push down the left-hand lane. despite Vigilant looking so strong, Cryptic now are the ones who appear to be in the driver's seat. Good stun comes out on the Mando Warrior, and that forces him back, and Fine OK doesn't have a care in the world. He is fine, okay?
Sam for Soccer down to about half HP. Fine going to be first one in onto the right-hand side, and Sam's going to go up through the Cosmos, already up. CDR pretty good for that Ratatosker, and it's right on the Data Remember, who had the Aegis procced and Purification Beads used as well. Right side Phoenix already gone.
Right side Phoenix is very low, but still just barely clinging to life. They do come back in and clean it up as Vedium falls in the back. That's a real important kill. Vigilant were able to pick up. The call now is to retreat. Gino might have to pay for this one with his life. Teleporting into the hammer is Mirage, and Gino falls too. Hopefully the rest of his team can get out, and he just gives up his life to slow down the push. But 2 Phoenixes have fallen for Vigilant and none for Cryptic.
Losing your duo lane to knock down the second Phoenix, absolutely worth it. Vigilant not going to be able to get a lot off the back of those 2 kills. Really just going to look to push out their waves and keep their base safe. Continuing to push into the enemy jungle, trying to catch someone lazy backing, but Shadow Chair and Sam for Soccer literally running all the way back to their fountain.
Fine OK now in a defensive position, that posturing enough to force Vigilant back. They recognize they can't afford to come in and try and push onto this middle lane. Instead, they're going to come down and try and pick up this Gold Fury.
This is the best use of time for Vigilant. I mean, they're not going to be able to get any towers. They're all gone. Can't get a Phoenix either, even 5v3. May as well get a little bit of extra gold and get closer to those endgame items.
And that's the right call. That's also something they don't want to have up on the map for Cryptic. So they're going to be able to take that away, now choosing to back off. But one more time, that mid-Phoenix has respawned. It'll be in a weakened state and likely will be the first call from Cryptic. They do still have a little bit of that Fire Giant left on Fine OK, Sam for Soccer, and Shadow Chair, though I'm sure they would have preferred to have it on Vedium, rather.
Fire Giant still not going to be available to fall off of Team Cryptic, the 3 members that still have it, for about 1 minute and 40 seconds still. So this left side almost certainly going to lose that left side tier 2 if that's what Sam wants to push down. But I like this idea from Cryptic. At least put a little bit of pressure onto this newly respawned mid-Phoenix.
Now Cryptic in position, as again, Sam for Soccer going to be uncontested on that left-hand side. Should be able to take it pretty easily. All 5 members for Vigilant instead trying to keep this weakened Phoenix alive. No one even trying to push out those minions in right. So that's one more concern that they'll have to worry about on that right-hand side.
And Vedium, first one in here, has both relics available soon. Has beads up right now, but Aegis is just up off of cooldown as well. Sam for Soccer's pushing down this left-hand side, trying to split up what Vigilant is going for. Vedium takes about half HP in his health just from the poke from Thor alone.
Now Cryptic ready to try and poke in. Still Sam for Soccer splitting over on that left-hand side. Actually pulling Mando Warrior over, but up into that through the Cosmos is Ratatosker, ready to crash back down onto Kill of the Hunt. Prime targets that he's able to hit in the back. Suns are raining down as well from Vedium. Data Remember still doesn't have a chance to really have a big impact in this fight, as it's Mando Warrior who went in a little bit too deep. Next, they'll back up, and Kill of the Hunt actually takes out Gino in this, so they do get 1 return kill, and the Phoenix actually still stands.
Great defense, but look at this right side. Fire minions pouring in to put pressure onto that Titan, down to about 6,500 health already. But with their mid-Phoenix respawn for Vigilant, it's going to start to open up the door for them to only have to worry about the right side fire minions. Once those right side fire minions are taken care of and that right side Phoenix respawns, the Titan can begin to regen, and the healing process can begin for Vigilant.
And that is a real big defense that Vigilant were able to pull out just now. Despite what looked like a really strong engage from Cryptic, now they no longer have the Fire Giant. They do have the Portal Demon in about 1 minute till that respawns. They'll go back and now try and establish a position to have that Fire Giant fight one more time. But we've seen Cryptic look good these last 2 fights.
And just keeping Vedium alive is so important.
Yes.
And even keeping him healthy, because Vedium doesn't fall in that engagement, but he gets poked out really heavily right at the beginning of the fight. And Vedium has been so important for Cryptic to siege down these Phoenixes. It's not like the Vigilance composition, where even if Data Remember falls, they've got the Soul that can push down these towers very easily. Cryptic's really relying on Vedium's structure damage in order to knock down these Phoenixes.
And they're the ones with the aggressive positioning. Only 15 seconds now before that Fire Giant comes back. Pain Devion going to be the one that's the frontline for him, as Mirage gets a good wall on Gino, won't let him back right on up. Vedium, good poke, and that's going to actually slow down Mirage. Aegis comes out for him to try and keep him alive, gets knocked up in the Suns, and he falls. Sam for Soccer getting credit for that one. That's huge. 5 for 4 right away in favor of Cryptic.
Vedium's just nuts, man. He's playing out of his mind right now. He knows that Mirage's hammer is down, knows the Purification Beads have about 20 seconds left until they're up. Finds the quick stun, drops the ult, and where's Gino? Right there to continue the CC chain. Great teamwork from Cryptic.
Cryptic now in position. Final K goes in, gets a two-man taunt. Mando Warrior, though, responds with the rally here over the top and sets up a kill of the Hun, who helps clean up 2 quick kills. Once again, the defense from Vigilance looking excellent as Final K drops as well.
Gino de-transforms. He'll have cooldowns up to jump away as soon as the silence goes away. He's going to be able to get up and over that wall. Great ult there by Mando Warrior and a kill of the Hun. That's the danger of even when you get a pick and get to push forward, if your relics are still down from the last team fight, you're vulnerable. And great recognition from Vigilant that that window was open for them to take that fight.
They fought without the Fire Giant. Now it's here for Vigilant to go clean up on the back of that fight. 4 members are still alive. They might even have a chance to let Mirage pick this one up right at the end if they feel safe enough, and I think they will. No one is local to try and slow them down. All 5 members will have the Fire Giant. Cryptic having such a hard time breaking the base here of Vigilant after that first Phoenix.
And that's because Vigilant just has such good long-range poke, long-range damage, long-range CC even, and it's instant CC with that wall, with the ultimate from Mando Warrior. It can set up a lot very, very quickly. Not only does Vigilant have time to get the Fire Giant, but might be able to get this mid-Phoenix they were looking for earlier as well.
Now Pain to Beyond using the Dharmic Pillars to keep Shadow Chair away. Mando Warrior actually goes aggressive with that Eagles rally. That's enough to let them clean up the Phoenix and force back the remaining members of Cryptic. But they're happy just to take the Phoenix, to get a weakened one in the same lane where they have a weakened Phoenix and back on off.
And that's big because not only do they get the mid-Phoenix, but they get Shadow Chair's Purification Beads as well. So now, just like we saw with the last fight, if Mando Warrior can go up and over the top, a kill of the Hun has been on point with these Supernovas. He's doing plenty of damage now. He's full build, has the Mantle of Discord, but with the rest of these items being damage-oriented, he's still bringing that big burst of damage that Vigilant needs.
And at this point in the game, any lead that either team had feels kind of irrelevant at this point. We're 43 minutes in, 20 to 18 are the kills, and now they're trying to look for any kind of way to get back into this. It's even whoever gets the better initiation is the one that's going to get it.
Well, Vigilant, again, it's Noble really looking for Vigilance to win this game, to extend their lives in the SPL. Cryptic really need this 2-0 if they want to avoid that relegation situation. You could tell this team is so talented, and it's unfortunate they're even in this position because of the bad record they were handed right off the bat by the old Cryptic roster. But they have...
That's true. It's a whole different roster that did it.
Completely different.
It's so crazy when you think about it at this point that it's an entirely different roster that was playing with them earlier. And this Cryptic, they're not just new people, they look like a new roster, hanging with Vigilant, hanging with some of the top members of NA right now and looking to try and be a terror coming through the gauntlet. But it's Vigilant who are in position right now. Vigilant have the Fire Giant, and they're going to try and make a siege on this Phoenix, which hasn't really been touched yet this game. Stun on a Gino, good follow-up damage. 2-man taunt comes out from Final K, takes the not the beads away from Kill the Hun, just the Disapparate form, dropping down to Sanford Soccer. Lots of important ultimates used without much coming for him from Cryptic.
Shadow Chair's ultimate has been massive so far for Cryptic's defense. It's really big that that's on cooldown.
And using the ultimate just to keep those minions away is Vedium to try and help clear. Sprints popped, so perhaps looking to get aggressive. One more time, our Cryptic Gino jumps in but doesn't get anything out of it. Lots of cooldowns used, and Vigilant are just playing patient.
Vigilant just work together and move together as a unit so well.
It feels like that's all coming down to Pain. Gino comes too far forward. Gino gets blown up. A kill of the Hun gets credit for that one. Final K goes in, trying to knock several members up, but there really wasn't any kind of follow-up without Shadow Chair's ultimate. Phoenix falls on that left-hand side, and now Vigilant are looking to move in and try and close this one out.
I just don't think they have enough damage to end without that Soul ultimate. Mirage the only one with an ult now, and so I like this call from Vigilant. Transition over to the right-hand side, put pressure on the mid by pushing in these fire minions, and then look for this right-side Phoenix. If you can get all 3, you put yourself in a great spot to win.
And Vigilant just stick around in this game until they're in a position where they can stand toe-to-toe with Cryptic. Cryptic having such a hard time defending, especially now without Gino, who is their main initiation. Into the back goes Sanford Soccer, trying to create trouble for Day to Remember, but he backs off no problem. Phoenix still standing for the moment. Pen comes out, and the several members in Pain using that Ohm to zone out everyone. 3 Phoenixes down, though, for Cryptic. It's so hard to come back from that.
Man, what a game from Vigilant. They've lost 2 Phoenixes, left side one, the only one that hasn't been knocked down on their side of the map. They somehow find a way to push back and get 3 Phoenixes of their own. This game has been so back and forth. It was Cryptic, and then it was Vigilant, and then it was Cryptic, and now it's Vigilant again, who have that advantage. And there's a good opportunity for them to come through this Portal Demon and immediately put pressure back onto that mid Phoenix for Team Cryptic that's almost up to respawn.
And this is what we've been talking about with Pain Devion's team, how you can never count them out when he's on that squad. And that's what they've done. They just kind of hung in there through all the pressure Cryptic put up, especially on those strong Phoenix defenses. Now they're the ones in the driver's seat. As you said, that mid Phoenix has respawned. It'll be weakened, and Cryptic going to need a stronger defense than we've seen from these last few minutes if they want to try and be the ones in control again.
Cryptic is just a little bit too predictable in how they're engaging in these
team fights. They're not cryptic enough?
It's yeah, exactly. They need to have a little bit more. Is there a form of Cryptic like? I don't know what I'm looking for. You nailed it there. We'll just give you credit.
Thank you.
They need to be a little bit less predictable in when they're engaging, because the sprint, they're popping sprints and then charging forward, and Vigilant is just like backing up, and then as soon as Cryptic is like, okay, we can't catch them, then it's Vigilant who move back in and try and take the fight. Vigilant move together like a liquid. They work all at the same time, and it's so quick. There's never anyone lagging behind, and again, I think you're right. A lot of credit for that goes to Pain Devion. They work together incredibly well.
Ooh, they're looking for a bit of a gank here, trying to see if they can catch anybody out, but I think recognizing it is Vigilant because they don't walk up into it. So everyone's okay. Instead, just waiting for their minion wave to meet up so they can push into this mid Phoenix one more time.
Mid Phoenix, the only one respawn. Left side Phoenix over halfway there. So Final K going to try and relieve at least a little bit of pressure on that left-hand side, but needs to be here in mid if they want to take this fight.
One more time, Wall comes out. Final K goes in with the two-man taunt, and Vedium follows up immediately with the Suns, maybe a little bit too quick on it. Even Sanford Soccer is up in the air, so 3 ultimates that they don't really get an impact out of.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm talking about, is that there's just not enough, there's just too much commit off that initial engagement. As long as Vigilant keep beadsing these CCs, Cryptic is overcommitting, expecting them to be a little bit late on it. This is the Pro League. Teams aren't going to be late on their beads often.
Now Data Remember is in prime position to go in and try and shred down this tower. One more time, the wall from Mirage. Jump goes in, though, from Gino. He takes a lot of poke. Shadow Chair this time hitting a few members with his ultimate. Data Remember is low. Final K kind of isolated way out here in the front. Now Gino is here to try and help out a little bit further, but they've gone way beyond where their damage dealers can help out. The Kill of the Hun responds, and Mirage crashes down into Final K, who's in a lot of trouble.
Sam's still very healthy, though. He and Shadow Chair both have both relics available, so Shadow Chair is going to be able to clear this wave without much worry. And now it's going to have to be Vigilant without a wave. Without any ultimates on the other side, they're not too worried about going in without a wave. Sam's ult's going to be up soon, but not soon enough.
Mando Warriors backing up, trying to get a little bit of healing, so it'll still be a 4v4 for just the moment. Sanford Soccer, though, keeping that Phoenix healthy, a strong call from him, especially if his team can do the 3-man defense just for now. It is Mando Warrior who rotates over to try and help. Sanford Soccer up into the air. Vadium takes a lot of poke from the hammer, has to use Aegis. Landing down is Sanford Soccer on top of Data Remember, but it's just not going to be enough. Everyone's still alive. Sam and Vadium have to back up.
Ooh, almost puts out damage onto Data Remember. If Shadow Chair could have detonated that Raiju, that might have been enough to kill him without that Fire Giant regen. Mid Phoenix falls very quickly, and Final K's escape is blocked off. He's got to go to the left-hand side. Meanwhile, look at the Titan. That right side Phoenix had minion waves pouring through it the whole time. It's already down to about 5,000 health.
And this is Vigilant showing just how well they can play the late game. They're so patient on these Phoenix attacks, these Phoenix sieges. They're getting the bait out from Cryptic. Part of it's Vigilant playing patient, but part's also Cryptic overcommitting.
And just doesn't have it quite yet. There's the blink in from Final K, and again, just not enough damage from Shadow Chair, but this time it's a good damage onto Mirage. He's up into the sky. It might be forced back. Stun onto Data Remember. Doesn't hit there from not Gino, but the Kill of the Hunt's ultimate again just crushes down the Fafnir.
Supernova coming up big to force back Cryptic. Gino going to be without him for 70 seconds now at this point. Mirage and Mando Warrior are very low, but they're going to use that Fire Giant to regen back up so they can make another siege. This left Phoenix is all standing. The one on right side to respawn 2 up in the air. One more time, Sanford Soccer. He lands down on the 2 members, this time looking a little bit better, but gets blown up immediately by a Kill of the Hun. They're still standing strong. They're patiently sieging down.
Just no relics that time for Sam, and he got punished for it right away. Left side Phoenix going to fall for the second time this game as another good amount of damage on a Shadow Chair who has to use the Aegis. He's been positioning very well in these team fights. That's the first time he's had to use a relic. Final K gets caught out, and Data Remember cooks him up.
And now this is it. Vigilant moving in. Looks like they've got a good chance to end. Vedium drops down the Suns, but they're not going to be enough either in a 50-minute